mission, that's the end. You can't talk, you can't. Yeah, I don't know.
Good question. So what we're going to do is we'll have a screening process. So these competitions, as you probably know, is participating in the last ones, you do get quite a lot of submissions. So we'll have an initial screening process, and then we'll have quite a broad judging panel that will go through, the bulk of the submissions to get to a group of finalists. And those group of finalists will have a little bit more interaction. Judges may ask more questions about your methodology, things like that. Because given the size of the challenge, it's not feasible to do that across the board.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'll have that kind of tiered approach.
That makes sense.
Yes?
If I could just confirm why I clap, but it would seem to me we get better outcomes in our world instead of competitions and that. So you take all the technology and ideas and then suddenly click here and then you get a conclusion where everybody actually made a contribution, and then you use some technology, blockchain or whatever, to allocate the value that had for that particular $500,000 or so. And then the groups move forward. Some will be left behind, but they actually made a contribution that eliminated them, sort of thing, because they spotted something that wasn't right, or that type of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe there could be a P&LG collective where the contribution will then be distributed through the blockchain.
I mean, it is an incentivized competition. The reason the prizes are spread out over a number of different people is so that that is distributed not just to one person, because we understand the workload. But that is the format that it's run by.
I'm going to try to make a proposal to Space Cube to look at decision quality on all of our past projects to see if, we would have actually been better if that was included with that and this came with that. But anyway.
I guess at that level, you're sort of almost talking about who you have in a team, maybe even if the team is bigger.
No, you just bring everybody you can think of, and then as they collaborate amongst themselves and together, rather than keeping secrets and coming in separate.
I think we'll see some quite large teams, to be honest. We've already seen quite a lot of people grouping up in large teams of multidisciplinary teams, so I think that's going to happen. I don't think there's definitely not going to be a transparency to everybody who took part to what the results were.
See, like in the oil industry, we're missing so much because different groups hide things to win, and it's a disaster at the moment. So at some point we have to come in with a...
Oh, sorry, lots of questions.
So this leads from our previous question about if you're, say, more of a data scientist and you maybe don't have any geological expertise working in your team, you're entirely data-driven, is that going to penalise you because half of the judging criteria is geology, or can you still win based purely off of a...
Yeah, so we kept the judging criteria really around like technical merit and how well you're able to articulate that. So there should be no bias. We've got that split judging panel so that we can have, if there is a solution, it's an exploration competition. We're going to get submissions that are purely geological as well. So we're just trying to make sure we've got that balance. So no, there won't be anything else.
The judges can talk to each other, right, and convince each other.
Yeah.
Will you be providing compute credits like AWS or something like that?
Good question. I'd say it doesn't look like it. There's free tier access probably at this stage. Probably not. Probably not. Any other questions? We do encourage people to meet up find out with teams, and I think there's a few geos in here as well, so they might have a chance to grab some of them. Yeah.
You said like most of the data is open, and then there's some stuff that hasn't been released. I was just wondering what hasn't been released, like other than consultants.
So there's obviously the broad public data set, then there's the Oz private data set which we're releasing. Within that, there's a few things that they've just had to take out. For legal reasons, you can't. If a consultant's got some IP in the report they've given you, there's confidentiality around that, so that can't be made public. I don't think so. Is there anything else that they've mentioned specifically? really.
Well, they don't want something that's going to tank their share price if you find it in the data and then go, oh.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get production data, mine data, in Prominent Hill as an example, so
do you
that's.
think the judges will have access to that? Are they all from the company? Or?
No.
You can't imagine if like if someone predicts it wildly and just happened and was successful, that's like, oh, it's a good submission, right? That kind of thing.
There are Oz judges on the judging panel.
You may have covered this earlier in the presentation because I wasn't quite sure. Given you've got a terabyte of data, what sort of tools will you be providing in terms of just like initial exploration of the data where it's like, is this whole category of 200 gigs of, what was it, undifferentiated, whatever big files, or whatever like just different segment it is there going to be a good tool we can use to like go through and go, okay, I know how to process this, this, and this, but I know I'm not going to be good at this, so I should focus on these 200 gigs as opposed to...
Yeah, I mean, that's really what we were trying to do with some of this work. So you are actually you'll be able to drill down by like file type, we'll be able to drill down by data type, so we'll be able to tell you, if you just want the seismic data or you just want the images, you can actually drill down and just see that. We're also trying to provide what we're calling seed data sets, which are like the drilling database that's not too big, it's easy to get started with, it's in a nice CSV format so people can sort of easily get going with that. And I would expect you probably would find it's going to be easiest to start with one of those seed data sets, and then as you have more questions about the data, go back in and find that. One of the things I would like to try and do is to provide like just a spatial layer that's like, here's all the spatial data. And you load that up into ArcGIS and
So we can
you can create
various
it.
So we'll have many spatial data.
Yeah, what was the number back there? How many vector data sets have we got? 6,617, 32,000 geospatial grids.
If there's interest, we might be able to have like PMLG sessions, just like shared exploration.
So it's there's a lot of data there to be getting on.
10 weeks just to figure out how to process all that data.
Yeah, well, that's why within those we've done some basic processing ourselves to try and speed that up for you. So, for example, I've gone through and extracted, all of the schemas that are sitting within all of that geospatial data. So, like, what actual, is this polygon defining a rock or something like that? We've done some text extraction on all of the text documents. So there's keywords that have been extracted from all of those. And we've done a fair bit of work to try and make it as easy to understand which bits of data correspond to, say, a gravity data set, or which bits correspond to a seismic data set. So hopefully you'll be able to kind of get in there and actually start to play with that data without having to, like I say, run through a whole terabyte and a half.
Like mapping different coordinates, getting the different types of data.
No, I've reprojected everything to EPSG 4326. So we're going to try and provide these as GeoTIFF and GeoJSON. So all you have to do is literally read it. Whether the data's any good, hey, that's on you guys. But we really do want to try and make this as easy as possible for you guys to hit the ground running.
Hello?
Right. Have a go.
I'm not sure if Holly answered it. So how young or how recent is your most recent report?
Oh, I don't actually know.
6 months, 3 months ago?
Pass. I would
Yeah.
have to go and look. Take that question on notice. Well, end of Feb, you'll be able to find out for yourself because they're releasing the database.
Is there any stuff from the active mining area, like RC drilling or?
Yeah. So there aren't production
cones?
holes. There's no production holes from Prom Hill. There are exploration holes from Prom Hill that are within the same tenement as the mine
So
itself.
is there any glass cone sampling or anything?
No.
No,
I
nothing
think
like
they've
that.
just given up to like feasibility study.
Right. They don't have any production.
Well,
types and
they
stuff.
have it, but they don't.
Don't- yeah, they don't.
Yeah.
There'd be legal implications
Yes.
and investment implications
Yeah,
for
Starbucks
releasing your
and
public
Starbucks.
production data like that. So, sorry. Yes, at the moment they're all in a bunch of map info layers. I was going to just extract them all out to GeoJSON. Yeah, the TAD file. So we'll provide the TAD file, and I'll hopefully provide a GeoJSON. Oh, and Esri's come on board as well. So if you don't have a ArcGIS license, then we'll be giving those out as part of the competition. So, yeah.
Given you've already converted all the spatial stuff to the same consistent coordinate system or whatever, have you also just been generally keeping like relationships between all the data? So if I'm in a PDF document
Yeah, so the way we're putting it up on the portal, for example, there's kind of like a bunch of different sorts of data. Like they gave us access to an S3 bucket and said go nuts, right? So I've sort of had to have this job of trying to work out how to best give it to you guys. So there's a bunch of prospect level data sets where there's like this square of the tenement, and associated with that square is a bunch of induced polarization, a bunch of electromag, and a bunch of gravity, and a bunch of, so you've got that data set which will crop up in that portal as one data set, and there'll be a bunch of zip files so you can download all of that data. And then there's a bunch of other geophysics data that was there from previous owners of the tenement that may or may not be useful to you, and really all you've got then is a spatial search to say, maybe this overlaps with my data, maybe I should take a look at it.
What about derived? You talked about the geospatial, like the inversions that have been done, but you've got the raw data as well.
Raw data's there as well, so if you want to...
Can you tell that that's generated and that's source data?
Yeah, so there'll be there's like a data set, and the data set has resources. Yeah. And so one of those resources might be a GeoJSON file, one of those resources might be the derived images that have come from that, and one of those resources might be, hey, here's 500 gigabytes of SegLite files, go nuts.
So just let dump the stuff out and just give it prize like every week for the best like renditions of stuff.
Yeah, that would be nice to do. Zane? Is Zane still here? Is he gone?
He just ran. You heard the question.
He heard the question and ran away. Yeah.
We did discuss that.
We did, yes.
So not necessarily Kaggle kernels, but you could do you could just set up a private GitHub repo and just share that out with the competitors. But then you would get people like processing through this stuff, and that would like raise everybody's game as opposed to everybody kind of like churning through it. Kaggle kernels are usually really efficient.
Yeah, no, we agree. We'd like for people to be able to learn like that. Obviously we can't say to competitors, hey, you've got to share stuff with everyone else.
No,
but
it's like, so like Kaggle kernels, you only do them because you want to share.
Yeah, yeah.
The problem is that like with Kaggle kernels, you get $500 if you put out something which is actually useful to people. So
Revisit that.
We can revisit it with Oz. We'll see what they say.
If we do run like a data exploration joint thing, can we convince you to come along possibly? Like, I imagine that once we've all dug in a little bit, we'll have much more specific questions.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and we also have there'll be we have a forum where for questions and all that stuff, and the Oz Minerals Geos and their data people will be available as well. But because you have tech, may as well take part in it.
Yeah, you can bribe me with beers and I'll come down.
Okay, so the first part of it will be like a trial, that's right? So this first 5 weeks is part of the main?
No, it runs at the same time.
Runs at the same time. So for 5 weeks, both will be running, and then the data science one finishes after 5 weeks, and there's another 5 weeks of the main competition to go after that.
Can you explain that first one a little?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So basically, what we want to try and get you doing is making predictions off just the common data types that you might see in a sort of an exploration challenge, without it being too hard, right? So the general challenge of finding a deposit at an arbitrary location on the planet is really, really hard. So what we've done is we're taking areas where we know there's deposits and areas where we know there's no deposits.
So you've got a known answer.
Yeah, so we'll give you all the layers as features. You have a whole bunch of target labels, and we're really just looking for a predictive accuracy.
So there's no convincing to be done for that?
No convincing to be done, it's just who can predict with the most accuracy for that particular challenge.
Do we have to explain our method?
Nope.
No, it's a leaderboard.
It'll be automatically scored. So there'll be a leaderboard and just have it back in.
how many entries can you put in? Because I feel this is a reinforcement learning problem.
Limited to 5 entries per 24 hours, I think is to brute force the test data set. Yeah.
So as a group of data scientists, how can I get my hand on a geologist? It might be, are you guys helping? Or in Perth it might be pretty easy, but anyone else in the world? So
you can find them all in Ubers, just get an Uber home from here.
No, the job market is fine.
No, but are you helping people to sort of meet a team?
Oh yeah, so we'll be able to buy the forum, and I'm not sure, Yana, actually you're probably best to answer that question.
Yeah, so we'll be setting out communications to encourage people to find teammates from different disciplines. So we do have a forum once you've registered for the competition where you can post looking for teammates. We also have a Slack workspace like PMLG does. So it'll be up to you guys to post and to find people and to make contact, but we are encouraging people to update your profiles, let people know you're looking for teammates, and we expect that with the kind of amount of interest we've had around the world from like different areas that you're likely to be able to find some folks. It's just a matter of moving forward with that.
Is it worth asking everyone who licks rocks to put their hand up in the room?
Geologists, do you want to admit?
Yeah, if you are open about it. Both if you're around.
All right, now I think we've got we're going to wrap up now. I'm getting the hook signal from John. But we are around. Look, if you want to get in touch with us and ask more questions, we're just up at Flux. So rock on in, come have a chat. We like seeing, call rather. Otherwise, drop us an email. Email addresses are up there, and we're happy to answer any questions or questions that you might have.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. It seems like this is quite possibly your biggest